Look, he was worthy of Mjolnir. Thor's hammer, it chose him. That means something, you know?
Okay, fine. It means he's pure of heart. Great. Tony saved the universe by snapping his fingers, knowing it would kill him.
And I do give him credit, I do. Tony's sacrifice was incredible. But Steve's entire life was sacrifice. Tony had one big moment, Steve had decades of them.
Decades of being frozen and then being slightly relevant.
Are you serious right now?
Because he didn't do anything. Tony innovated, took risks, pushed boundaries. Cap just punched things really well.
Pushed boundaries after creating the problems in the first place. Ultron was Tony's fault.
Ultron was trying to protect Earth. The concept was right, the execution was flawed.
The execution killed an entire city. Meanwhile, Steve Rogers never created a villain. He just stopped them.
And created a genocidal AI in the process. Look, it was a mistake. One mistake, compared to how many times Tony saved the world.
All of Tony's villains, Obadiah Stane, Whiplash, Killian, Ultron, they're all because of something Tony did. Steve did it without creating villains along the way.
Okay, but let's talk Thanos. Tony fought Thanos on Titan and made him bleed. All that for a drop of blood.
With help from Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and the Guardians, Cap stood alone with a broken shield. He held off Thanos one-on-one, the only Avenger to actually stand against him effectively.
For like 30 seconds before getting knocked out, and got destroyed. If Thanos hadn't called the army off, Cap would be dead. That's not impressive, that's suicide.
It's courage, standing up even when you know you'll lose. That's what a hero is.
A hero is someone who wins. Tony won. He defeated Thanos permanently. Cap got his ass kicked.
Which was only possible because Steve held the line long enough for Tony to do it.
Steve held the line? He got knocked down in like 5 seconds. The whole final battle was everyone getting destroyed until Tony snapped.
Because that was the plan Steve helped create. Leadership isn't about personal glory, it's about putting people in position to succeed.
And it was cool, but it was tactics. Tony's sacrifice was the actual victory. He solved time travel in one night. One night, and you're telling me Steve's more important because he has a shield?
After Tony built the gauntlet that allowed Thanos to snap in the first place.
But if Tony hadn't figured out time travel, he's the reason they could even try. Cap's contribution was what? Giving a speech?
Leading the team, organizing the strategy. Avengers, assemble! That moment was the culmination of everything.
Okay, what about Civil War? By those metrics, Cap beat Tony in Civil War.
In a fight, which Cap won because he had Bucky's help, and Tony was emotionally compromised after learning Bucky killed his parents.
Even before Bucky helped, Steve was winning. He's a better combatant.
In hand-to-hand, sure, but Tony can fly, shoot missiles, and deploy nanotechnology. He's more versatile.
And got beaten by a guy with a metal frisbee.
Shield, it's a shield, and that fight proves my point. Tony was holding back because he didn't want to kill Steve. Steve wasn't holding back at all.
He smashed the arc reactor. If that thing explodes, Tony dies.
It didn't explode. Steve knows what he's doing. Anyway, the Sokovia Accords were the right call. Steve was wrong.
Wrong, the Accords would have put the Avengers under government control. Governments that could be corrupted or infiltrated by Hydra.
And Tony only supported it because he felt guilty. The second it was inconvenient in Infinity War, he violated the Accords to go to space.
Or proving that Tony was smart enough to know when rules needed breaking, while still believing in the system.
Or that's called inconsistency. Steve's principles never wavered.
Because Steve's principles were simple. Tony's worldview was complex.
Simple doesn't mean wrong. Sometimes clarity of purpose is strength.
And sometimes adaptability is strength. The world isn't black and white.
Okay. Final arguments. Let's end this properly.
Fine by me.
Steve Rogers is the greatest MCU hero because he represents what heroism actually means. Unwavering integrity, selfless leadership, and moral courage even when it costs everything. He was a hero before he had powers, trying to enlist 5 times when others wouldn't, jumping on grenades to save his squad. He wielded Mjolnir, proving he was worthy in ways Thor's hammer could measure that transcend human judgment. He led the Avengers through their darkest moments, united them when they fell apart, and stood alone against Thanos with a broken shield when all seemed lost. He never compromised his principles, even when it isolated him from his team. He fought his own friends in Civil War because he believed in doing what's right over what's politically convenient. Avengers Assemble gave the entire franchise its most cathartic moment after 11 years of buildup. And in the end, after 70 years of sacrifice, he finally chose himself and got his dance with Peggy, an ending he'd earned through decades of putting everyone else first. Tony had one great sacrifice. Steve had a lifetime of them. That's the GOAT.
Tony Stark is the greatest MCU hero because he represents the heart of what the franchise is about. Transformation, redemption, and sacrifice earned through personal growth, rather than being inherent. He launched the MCU with I Am Iron Man in 2008, creating a $53 billion franchise from a B-list character. His character arc from selfish arms dealer to selfless savior is the emotional backbone of 23 films spanning 11 years. He solved time travel in one night. He created Vision, he mentored Spider-Man, he built the gauntlet that made victory possible, and ultimately, he snapped his fingers to defeat Thanos knowing it would kill him, leaving behind a wife and 5-year-old daughter because the universe needed saving. He made the hard calls when others couldn't. His intelligence won battles that courage alone wouldn't win. Without Tony Stark, there is no MCU. Without his sacrifice in Endgame, Thanos wins permanently. Cap provided the moral compass, but Tony built the ship, steered it through impossible waters, and burned it down to save everyone inside. That's the go.
So it's moral clarity versus intelligence.
Leadership versus innovation.
Principles versus adaptability.
And both saved the world in their own way.
But only one was worthy of Mjolnir.
And only one solved time travel and defeated Thanos.
Steve united the team when they were broken.
Tony created the team in the first place by launching the MCU.
That's a meta argument, not an in-universe argument.
Fine. In-universe, Tony's intelligence saved them more times than Steve's shield did.
Steve's leadership gave them something to fight for when intelligence wasn't enough.
Intelligence is always enough if you're smart enough, which Tony was.
Until he created Ultron and nearly destroyed the world.
One mistake versus a lifetime of innovation.
One mistake that killed thousands versus a lifetime of never making that mistake.
Because Steve never tried anything bold enough to fail at that scale.
Or because Steve's moral compass kept him from playing God.
Tony wasn't playing God. He was trying to protect Earth from what was coming, and he was right. Thanos came.
And Steve was the one who held the line against him.
For 30 seconds with a broken shield before Tony had to save everyone.
By dying, which means Steve survived to actually live the life he earned.
After going back in time and abandoning everyone in the present who needed him.
He deserved that happiness after 70 years.
And Tony deserved to watch his daughter grow up, but he gave that up to save the universe.
This is the most circular argument we've ever had.
Because they needed each other. The leader and the genius, the heart and the mind.
Except one is clearly better.
We agree on that. It's Tony.
It's absolutely Steve.
I am Iron Man.
I can do this all day.
The snap that saved the universe.
The shield that held the line.
And somehow we both think we won this argument.
Because we're measuring different things and calling them the same name.
Intelligence versus integrity.
The mind versus the heart of the Avengers.
And both were essential.
But one was more essential.
Mine.
This
debate will outlive the MCU itself.
Because they gave us two completely different visions of what a hero should be.
And we'll never agree on which one mattered more.